Hello, my dear Dharma friends from around the globe. I would like to wish you all well, and at the same time, I would like to take this opportunity to share with you a few of my thoughts on Dharma practice in general, and in particular, the practice of aspirations. I've just said a few words in Tibetan on the subject, and I will now do my best to convey these notions of mine in English, of course, in my own way. They revolve mainly around the topic of changing for better, improving ourselves. I feel that ordinary sentient beings like ourselves, even though we aren't that good at recognizing change, we use or we practice the idea of change every day. But if I dare say, often in a wrong, self-defeating way. How? I think that almost all of us share an innate wish and hope that I want to become a better person. It is there in almost everyone, and it generally manifests in the form of a desire to increase our power, fortune, and fame. The usual worldly criteria by which we measure goodness, success, and improvement. And the current pandemic has yet again given rise to the same kinds of wishes or aspirations. We want to make things better, become fitter and healthier. And we have the fervent wish to overcome this challenge and go back to a state of normalcy as quickly as possible. We even tend to approach Buddhist practice in the same way. The understanding we have of Buddhism leads us to believe that aiming for enlightenment for ourselves and for others means that we need to become better. And so we wish for ourselves and others to become better people, free of emotions and ignorance, poverty, disease, and any kind of misfortune. So it is easy for us to develop a misconception where we feel that the Buddhist method in some ways echoes our wish to become a better person. This occasion, the Kajimhelam, where we are going to aspire together, hopefully in the ways of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, could give us a chance to wonder about certain things. Why do we want to get better? Why do we want to improve our health? And why do we want to get to whatever post-pandemic state or place or world we imagine there to be? I would like to take this opportunity to share some of my thoughts about this dilemma. According to my understanding, the awakened ones or the Buddhas never meant their knowledge and the experience they have gained and shared with us as a way of becoming better in any sense. That was never the intent. Nevertheless, to us, when we look at their lives and the teachings that they have shared, that's exactly what it looks like. That they managed to become better people themselves and are now showing us the way to do that. That could be a reason why, after many, many years of practice, we sometimes feel that we have not gotten anywhere at all, and instead may even have gone backwards. It is important for us, both life in general and especially in the case of the current pandemic, not to fall into despair because we feel that we have failed in our efforts to get better and get trapped in a vicious circle, because if you give in to that, if it'll not benefit us. On the other hand, this feeling could serve as a cue that there may be a lot more to Buddhism than we have understood so far. Again, this is not meant to put more pressure on us by implying that we have been wasting the precious opportunity to understand the Buddha Dharma. All it means is that we have not yet reached the end of the road, so to speak, that there is more to understand about the Buddha Dharma than we thought. That it is far more subtle than we thought, or in other words, that it is far less serious than we thought. Of course, it is normal for us to want to feel better, healthier, and of course, it's normal for Buddhists to want to become enlightened. But to give away the punchline right from the start, the thing is that there is no one who can become better or healthier. No one who can get enlightened. So it's that very idea that is blocking us. If you truly want to become enlightened, it's that feeling, that very feeling, that is blocking us from getting enlightened. It is to remedy that confusion that in Buddhism we have this concept called Buddha nature, which is meant to provide us with a breather, a sense of hope. But is it something real? Is it something tangible? Is it really there? Even the fully awakened Buddhas have never seen it. They know that in absolute there is no such thing as Buddha nature. They understand that it is just a concept. Yet, that very concept is very helpful, even though it's a concept. it gives us a cue to wake up. That Buddha nature is often described as the ground of our being, in the sense that if you have a ground to walk on, then you can walk. And whatever appears on this ground, the Buddhas describe it as spontaneously appearing, abrupt, manifesting out of nowhere without absolute origin. Yet, when the conditions are present for any of these concepts, these appearances, good or bad, positive or negative, to arise, they appear to us as if they were real. And when we see appearances that we cannot understand and make sense of, such as afflictions, loss and disease, we want to clear them. We want to get rid of them and give rise to the notion of wanting to become a better person, wanting to improve. In order to help us clear this doubt and confusion, the awakened ones have shown and conveyed that the method to vanquish these erroneous concepts is to focus on and utilize another concept called wisdom. This wisdom is presented as a potential in ourselves, and it is developed through practices such as the very aspiration practice we are going to do or we are going to perform over the next few days. However, the Buddhas have also conveyed that these wisdom methods are equally spontaneous, that they are also concepts, just like the erroneous concepts of ego. Nevertheless, they are very useful when it comes to diminishing unhealthy concepts. Therefore, both confused concepts and wisdom are equally spontaneous, equally abrupt. Nevertheless, if we apply one of these seemingly opposite things to remedy the other, it clears away confusion. Why? Because once you discover that both the thing you want to remedy and the remedy itself are both concepts, they simply disappear. An example to illustrate this would be rubbing two sticks of wood together to create the spark for a fire, which will then consume both the sticks. And the ground for both of these concepts is none other than you, me, us. Whether we call it ego or whether we call it Buddha nature, it is this neutral base that has the potential to manifest everything. Positive, negative, good, bad, left, right, and so on. So although Buddha nature is a concept, it's a useful idea to use, useful concept to use. Although there is no such thing as a becoming a better person or becoming enlightened, nevertheless, if we want to play with that concept, work with that concept, and see where it goes, then the idea of sentient beings and ourselves having a potential called sort of like primordial potential, one could say, called Buddha nature, is then very helpful. It helps us to discover that there is no need to become enlightened, yet conceptually it is possible. I have always conveyed to our fellow Dharma practitioners not to take the Buddhist methods too seriously. This, however, does not mean that you should not practice them. I'm simply saying that, or implying that, there is no point in taking them too seriously. But by all means, utilize them to the fullest, thoroughly, without doubt or hesitation. And if you do it in that way, you can clear away confusion. And so, if we are able to practice in this way, then it is possible to, as it were, gain something, though that something is almost impossible to name. Of course, the most obvious and preferred choice of name, I suppose, is enlightenment, the awakened state. But these are still just words. But in terms of what we can really gain out of it, in case we have a fervent wish to gain something, I believe it would be correct to say that on this ground of being, you can clear away confusion. That's the best we can get, and maybe that's all we need to get, the clearing away of confusion. Whether we name it seeing the Dhammakaya or realizing Buddha nature, all we are really gaining or getting is the clearing of concept, both the confused concept and the wisdom concept. And when that job is done, or that work is accomplished, the wisdom itself claims no credit, asks for no gratification. It simply disappears, and all we are left with is this state of no confusion. And so, during the Kajumelam, what we are trying to do for ourselves is to clear away confusion. It's not really about becoming better at anything. There is no point, and there is no need. But maybe there is a point in clearing away confusion, affliction. Practicing the methods in such a way is equivalent to wishing for the longevity and flourishing of such methods, precious methods, for the ceasing of all unfavorable conditions, such as disease and disasters, both natural and man-made, and for the blossoming of all goodness. So I hope that all of you will be able to join with me in this prayer with that attitude, without having to succeed in what we aspire to. Thank you very much for listening.